Yo, what is up, guys? WW here, talking about the new 5-star sword we are getting for free in Wuthering Waves. How good is it? Is it going to be worth, investing in and stuff like that? And, how good is it at getting us a free 5-star sword? Free 5-star sword sounds insane at the front line, but, once we actually look at it and stuff, then it is, maybe the ideas change a little bit. But, besides that, we'll get into it, so, see what this weapon does. And I'll be telling you if it's good or if it's garbage pretty much here. If you don't know, we're getting the new aero rover next patch, which is what this new aero weapon is dedicated to. This new sword we're getting from the story. Aero rover, pretty much, they're kind of like spectral rover except for aero, and now they do aero erosion instead of just regular aero damage, and they have some aero buffs and stuff in their kit. They're pretty supportive character, as you can see from what the weapon is going to do as well. I think I gotta work on the Resonance Lib animation. I'm not gonna lie. I see a lot of people hyping this up. I think the Resonance Liberation animation could go way harder. It's missing impact. I feel like after they slice the guy, they're missing, look, they farm all his aura, and then after it's just nothing. It just dissipates, poof. It's poof. Anyways, let's talk about the weapon. Today's video is about the weapon, Blood Pack's Pledge. We are going to be getting this from the version 2.2 storyline, and you are going to be able to R5 this weapon from the storyline as well by getting refinements the same way you get the wave bands for your rover. The weapon here, what it does is its main stat is 587 base attack, that's pretty nice, and 38.8 energy regen. Pretty solid. Then we have its buff, or its substat buff, whatever you want to call this. When you provide healing with anything, you can increase your resonant skill damage by 10 to 26%. We're going to be getting R5, so 26% resonant skill damage increase just from providing healing. If you don't know, the aero rover can heal, obviously. Next buff that we get here is when the rover aero casts resonant skill Unbound Flow. Aero damage dealt by nearby resonators on the field is amplified by 26% for 30 seconds. That's pretty nice. Their skill here is right here. You send them into the air, you hit them with that 3-hit combo. This one's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. But it lacks impact on the last frame. You go for the uppercut, which is really cool, and then you go for the second double hit, and then there's no finisher really. There's also the sword. There's a sword they can summon to slam the ground. I feel like this could be way cooler. I feel like the sword slamming maybe if it was bigger, it would be insane. I don't know. I feel like maybe if the sword slammed down on the ground, it would be insane. Maybe that's just me, I just like really cool animations, and I think they have the foundation, but they're not executed fully. Anyways, so yeah, this weapon is able to give you 26% resonant skill damage, and it's able to give you 26% aero damage to your whole team. That's pretty solid, honestly. Now, the only thing is we don't have that many aero characters, and this would mean you would be playing the rover instead of Verena or Matefi inside of a Gion team. Unless you're playing with Alto. If you're playing with Alto, I guess, I don't know Alto. I don't think anyone knows Alto, I'm gonna be honest. Leave that to Alto means. I don't know how good 26 resonance damage increases for Alto instead of just Verena and Shorekeeper or something, you know what I'm saying? But, this seems pretty solid, honestly. It's questionable that it has an energy regen main stat. Maybe the rover has a high ult cost. I looked at the scaling. The scaling of the rover's ultimate is not that high, but it does heal your team. So maybe it's just so you can heal as much as possible. But another thing for me, healing in Wuthering Waves is kind of useless. Obviously, there's stuff that activates from healing, but that's something set up just to make the criteria useful, you know what I'm saying? Healing at a baseline has no value. In Wuthering Waves, the biggest thing is damage. The bosses, damage. Any fight, damage. They've been doing some more stuff recently with HP, Hekate can drain your HP. We had that one event where the final stage drained your HP, the co-op, going through the realms and stuff. You remember that? That drained your HP. But mainly in WoW, healing doesn't have that much value. Now, I'm not saying you get absolutely nothing out of healing. Healing's still nice. You lose your HP, you get your HP back. But healing doesn't have that much value. I think this weapon though, it's just for the rover. That's the only thing. So it's trash on any other character besides the rover. So, you kind of take that information. The only thing is, I don't even know how much better this would be than just putting like Emerald of Genesis on your Aero rover. I guess if you want to be fully supportive, this will be better because you get the 26% damage boost to your whole team. And when you include that with the new rover set and everything, you'd have like 66% aero damage bonus to yourself, which means your rover could go like maybe an attack 3 costs or a energy regen 3 costs. I doubt you go energy regen 3 costs because they don't have anything as far as I've seen that scales off of energy regen in terms of damage, like Brant, So I don't think you'd ever go energy regen, but maybe you go like an attack percent 3 cost when you're using this set with the weapon because you're getting 66% for free, which is pretty nice. But yeah, this weapon only good for the rover. It should be pretty good for the rover. I mean, you get the skill damage too, and then you have a bunch of aero damage, but you also probably are just going to be able to stick Emerald of Genesis on your rover, and it's also going to be good. Also, if they're resonant skill, you could probably use like Chang Li's signature and stuff as well, which would be pretty nice. There's a lot of options. This set, though, the new Sonata effect we're getting is actually really good. I think they should make this weapon not so exclusive. If you were able to just give this 26% to anybody, I mean, it's not like we have that many aero characters, but it would be nice for the future. It's kind of like buns that it's just for Aero Rover, but I mean, I guess, that's just me. But the new set, pretty nice. Aero Erosion gives you 15% damage bonus to your whole team, and then the person that procs the Aero Erosion also gets 15% for themselves. So you just get 40% for like existing almost, which is pretty much better than the other sets. You don't have to do a skill or anything for this. You just Aero Erosion on them, and that's bam, pretty solid. We haven't done any much with Aero Erosion because, it's new. And they really just gave us information on the last patch. I wonder if they're going to go back on Havoc Rover and give it Havoc Bane. If you don't know, that's what the Havoc, like, dot equivalent or, like, debuff equivalent is. There's the Spectral Frazzle, there's the Aero Erosion, and then Havoc Bane. So, I wonder if we get Havoc Bane in the future. Just like how they changed Spectral Rover from not having any Frazzle to having Frazzle. Who knows, though. But besides that, that's all I want to talk about the weapon. It's good for the rover, trash for anybody else, We'll see how much actual value it has over Emerald of Genesis when it actually comes out. You could test them out. But besides that, Gib here, sell up to your boy. What's WW Gib looking like right now? We're looking at 191 subscribers. What? Yeah, let's get that to 200. Appreciate you guys watching the videos though. Oh, another thing, I'll make another video on it. I love making a video on it. I'll make another video on it. But yeah, goodbye. Appreciate you guys watching. See ya.